The Americans have had a lot of experimental aircraft, such as the Sikorsky X-Wing, a hybrid between a plane and a helicopter, including the speed of a jet and the vertical takeoff of a chopper. Or the NASA M2F1, aptly named the flying bathtub. Also, it didn't have wings. Now, when you decide to not have wings, the best thing you can do is make your entire aircraft a wing. But I'm not talking about B-2s or B-21s here. I'm talking about the flying pancake. God, I love American nicknames. The Vought V173 featured an unorthodox, all-wing design consisting of a flat, somewhat disc-shaped body, and that's where it got its pancake nickname. I mean, look at it, it does look like a pancake. The first flight took place in 1942, but the plane didn't really catch on and was retired in 1947. But even during its tests, it was revealed that the aircraft had some troubles about it. The gearbox, for instance, it produced unacceptable amounts of vibration in ground testing, and this delayed the aircraft's first test flight for months. This also led to the plane feeling heavy when maneuvering. I personally love it because just imagine a person seeing that thing from the ground. The first thing they're gonna say is that aliens are attacking. True story, by the way. That said, the plane's low-speed capabilities were quite something, according to American aviator Charles Lindbergh, who flew it. Swapping allegiances in a traitorous manner, we are in the Soviet Union. The Soviets, just like the Americans, absolutely loved their unconventional and downright weird aircraft designs. For example, they wanted a big plane, but also wanted a plane that would be a boat. So they made the Lund class a cranoplane, weighing in at 350 tons, equipped with 6 Sunburns SS and 22 anti-ship missile launchers, along with 50 caliber machine guns and 23mm cannons. Whew, that was a mouthful. It didn't even fly, it skimmed the water using ground effect to its advantage. Then you had the Bartini-Beriev VVA-14. This was a boat submarine plane mix. Like, the Soviets really just did whatever they felt like doing. It was intended to be an amphibious vehicle capable of taking off from land or water, and also in tight places. Thus, VTOL capabilities would prove useful. But Bartini's death and the failure to deliver the VTOL jet engines led to it being abandoned. However, perhaps the most bizarre and my personal favorite aircraft that the Soviets made is the Su-47 Berkut. If I had all of the money in the world, I'd somehow buy this thing. It's just so sick, and I also want to live like I'm in Ace Combat. Berkut is Eagle in Kazakh, and its NATO reporting name was Firkin, though considering only one was ever built, I don't think that was entirely necessary. The Su-47 was originally built as Russia's principal testbed for composite materials and sophisticated fly-by-wire control systems, along with new airframe technologies. The project itself was launched in 1983. Thanks to its forward-swept wings, the Su-47 has extremely high agility at subsonic speeds. What this does is allows the plane to alter its angle of attack and its flight path very quickly, while retaining maneuverability in supersonic flight. And that's the reason for its weird appearance. Weird, but so cool. Now, forward-swept wings weren't a Soviet thing either. They were tested by other countries too, including Uncle Sam. And they one-upped the Soviets. No, like literally, they made 2 Grumman X-29s compared to 1 Berkut. The X-29 also came before the Berkut, with the first flight taking place in 1984. The aerodynamic instability of the X-29's airframe required the use of computerized fly-by-wire control. 2 X-29s flew 242 times in the span of 7 years and demonstrated many new technologies, but were never adopted into service. It's a shame really, because these forward-swept wing designs are just so cool. Sticking with the Americans because the sheer volume of tests and weird things that have come out is mind-blowing. So much so that I think this might be a multi-part series, but enough chit-chat. Tell me, if you were asked to build a low-cost reconnaissance aircraft, what would you make? The US decided that the Delachner HZ-1 Aerocycle is the perfect vehicle for that. You steer it using your body weight, with the caveat that if you fall, you kinda get... And of course, if you hover above enemy positions to do your reconnaissance, there's that slight possibility that they may... Maneuverability was horrible, and soldiers were unwilling to get on that thing. Go figure. For the next aircraft, we travel to the United Kingdom, also have their fair share of absolutely amazing aircraft, along with some weird aircraft. Like this, the Hafner Rotobuggy. Doesn't really look like a plane now, does it? You'd be correct. I mean, even the name has buggy instead of plane or helicopter or chopper or jet, but the buggy has an ace up its sleeve. A rotor kite. Rotor kites are interesting because they aren't like helicopters. The blades don't have an engine powering them. Instead, it relies on a set of rotors in order to fly. It relies on getting into the air and staying in the air by being dropped by another aircraft. And that was the idea behind the rotobuggy. Basically a Willys MB that had a rotor kite smacked onto it. The first trial was conducted on November 16, 1943, with the unit being towed behind a Diamond T lorry. The lorry could not get enough speed to put the rotobuggy in the air. Quite the bummer. It also achieved a flight speed of 70 miles an hour, which is quite impressive, but at that point, gliders that could carry vehicles were already brought forth, and they were chosen over the rotobuggy. That meant that the project would inevitably be scrapped.